say because even though I am young, I realize the importance of women's rights and what can happen to a world when women have their rights taken away, and the dangerous outcomes that come from having these certain rights. I feel like I have a lot of people that I not only know, but I am friends and family with, that it would impact them not only from the stance of abortion, but just for the stance of public health care in general, because the clinic does more than just abortions, and it's been labeled that. But I think it's really important for everyone to understand that it is more than that, and it's an LGBTQ center for healthcare, and it's a lot of people's family doctors, and so having it shut down has impacted a lot of people. I'm hoping that we have more centers open. I know that for some reason some people are dead set in having that certain clinic close, but I'm hoping that more will open up and in more places, because in the end we're just trying to keep everyone safe and healthy, and that can't happen if all of our resources are gone.
Because Clinic 554 is getting shut down, and I think that's morally wrong. I hope they'll open up more small clinics around, like we need more in St. John and like Fredericton, Moncton, small towns too. Hospitals are too public to go places to get abortions.
So there's not a lot of resources like that for like trans youth, especially because they would hook people up with like binders and hormones and stuff like that, even if their parents weren't like 100% on it. And it's kind of like, as someone who is trans myself, I would have loved to have that when I was just starting. You know.
And you guys have other friends who would be impacted by the closure of 554?
Many.
I'm here today for several reasons. I'm here because Adrian Egger is my children's doctor in Fredericton, and the closure of Clinic 554 will mean they lose their doctor and get added to a 30,000 plus waiting list for doctors, so that's unacceptable. I'm also here because reproductive rights are not only important, they're the law. And our province is breaking the law because Blaine Higgs is pro-birth, and his personal opinions allow him, or he believes allow him to break the law, and that's unacceptable. And there are many people that support this, including the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health in Ottawa, yet his arrogance is basically him saying, no, I'm not going to do what I am legally required to do and morally required to do. So people in New Brunswick that are capable of giving birth have the right to this service, and Clinic 554 is not a private clinic. And the fact that Premier Higgs keeps saying that over and over again, trying to misinform the public, is unbelievably manipulative. And they are no more a private clinic than any other doctor's office, where procedures are performed in office all the time. So it's specifically about abortion and being unwilling to fund what is our legal right to have, should we need or want one.
And you were saying earlier you had skin in this game.
Absolutely. My children, Adrian is their doctor, and should they end up on a waiting list, we all know it's going to be years and years before they have access to consistent health care, and that is frightening because anything can happen at any time, and if you rely on clinics for years on end, you don't have a consistent health record, you don't have a doctor that knows your situation, that knows how to deal with your particular issues. And one of my kids is trans, and Adrian specializes in LGBTQ healthcare. So what's going to happen there? How are they going to get the help, the medical help that they need and the support that they need to move forward? It's terrifying.
And so if Clinic 554 does end up closing, what would you like to see happen in the long term?
In the long term, I would like to see several clinics throughout the province that are easily accessible. When I was younger, I was a single parent, and I needed an abortion, and I got one in St. John very easily. Fast forward 20 years, I would not have been able to go to Moncton or Bathurst. I had very young children. I didn't have a car for many years while they were young. So my options would have been nil. I would have been forced to have a child I could not afford, and I was having difficulty looking after the two I had, our lives would have been radically different had I been forced to have that child. And I was in university at the time. I probably wouldn't have been able to complete my degree, or certainly not in the time frame I wanted, which allowed me to look after my children better once I was able to be more financially secure. So the repercussions of not being able to have that procedure would have been vast, not just for me, but for my children. So we need clinics that do this all over the province, that are very accessible and should not be any major distance from any of the population.